Dobar dan, pozdrav iz Berlina. Jedna od najčešćih zabluda u vezi sa jogom jeste da je to pasivna praksa. Da, ali pojedini stilovi joge, dok ima veoma dinamičnih i fizički zahtevnih. Danas ćemo se baviti jednim od mojih najomiljenijih jogičkih položaja, stoj na rukama. Stoj na rukama je veoma zahtevan položaj koji utiče na našu i mentalnu i fizičku snagu i stabilnost. Također, ovaj položaj je sjajan za ovladavanje strahovima. Obzirom da smo u obrnutom položaju tela, takozvana inverzija, ogromna količina krvi dolazi u glavu i tako osvežavamo kardiovaskularni i limfni sistem. Ima još mnogo benefita ovog jogičkog položaja. Ojačava ruke i ramena, poboljšava varenje, olakšava tegobe sa proširenim venama, oslobađa nas od stresa i anksioznosti, poboljšava fokus, koncentraciju i memoriju, poboljšava vid, ima anti-aging efekat, reguliše rad žlezda. Vodim vas na radionicu. Ajmo.
Handstand, in the context of handstand, I've been doing it since I was a child. So in a way, I started in gymnastics, and then I transitioned into circus handstand, hand balancing. But I've been doing handstand for almost 40 years. So for me, it's just a pleasure to continue practicing what I've done since my childhood. It's always, I mean, it was not so much, I've never been a stage person, but I enjoyed competing in gymnastics and then performing later on in the circus. And also, in order to perform or compete, you need to prepare for it. So the preparation, and which is my practice, it was always an integral part of my life. And it's not difficult for me to do because it's just part of what I do, who I am and my practice itself. I mean, like any advanced practice, you can't get away from the time that you have to invest, but it's a big part of it is also the technique. So a combination of good foundation, good technique, and then putting daily time to explore that technique and have it become a regular thing. That's like what allows people to progress in a discipline like handstand. I don't practice handstand so much for the benefits. The benefits are the side effect. But in a way, when the handstand is correct, when you do good alignment of handstand, there's a minimum of force needed in order to just hold the position. So the better you become in handstand, the more efficient and the less you need to use strength in order to hold every position. Most of the way I approach, at least, handstand, you don't need to prepare your body, use specific muscle to hold the handstand. You learn everything by doing handstand from the start. Okay, so there's progressions of force, and we use a lot the wall in order to build confidence and build understanding of the technique and how to position your body in the correct place. And then in the meanwhile, if you spend, in every time you go to the wall, you spend, let's say, 32 seconds to 1 minute, you also build the capacity and the specific strength needed to hold the position. But still, if the exercises are done correctly, you use the minimum strength needed to just hold the handstand position that we work on. So yeah, so that's the main thing. If specific muscles, so it's a lot of it is it's shoulder, the scapula muscles around the scapula, stabilizing this area and learning how to elevate the shoulders, elevate the scapula. This is something that is developed simply by going on your hands and resisting the weight of your body. So by repeating that, your body adapts specifically to handstand and gets stronger. I would add that in addition to certain strength that you need, you also need some mobility, some ability to extend the upper back. The shoulder mobility is important, the wrist mobility is important. So by going into, when you practice handstand, it also forces you, if some person has a certain limitation, for example in a thoracic spine, that okay, so it will be a motivation for the person to develop that area that's a weak spot. Some people have they're not flexible in their hamstrings, so that will prevent them from doing press to handstand. So that will motivate them to spend some time developing that as well. So fear is something that I deal with in workshops, especially in the beginner workshops. So fear is not so much a negative thing. It's something that you need to respect, and then I try to give people tools of how to overcome those fears so they can focus on technique. Because what happens when the fear arrives, then the body just gets into protection mode, and you can't really think about the details and the technique that is required to hold the handstand. So this is why it's important to try to create a safe environment for the people to learn, and then little by little overcome those fears by knowing, giving people strategies of how to prevent those scary situations. Different people take out of handstand or out of yoga or out of any other activity different things. I think what's nice about handstand for people who are not hand balancers, that's not their profession, it gives a very clear set of objectives, of goals into your practice. So let's say my goal is to become proficient in freestanding handstand for 30 seconds. The process that you need to go through in order to achieve that, this is what you gain. So you're learning a lot about yourself, about your strength, about your weaknesses, whether it's physical or mental or whatever, and then grow as a result. But having a fun goal in the process to achieve. It's not so much about fun, like from a child perspective, like it's about being having a meaning to your practice, having like what is, and everybody can find a different meaning, what it means to them. For me, for me personally, because I've been doing it so many years, it allows me to enter my inner child in a way, because I'm practicing the same way as I did 30 years ago. So it's a fun place for me to be, and it's a continuous opportunity for me to grow. So to learn new things, to learn new skills, to face challenges and overcome them, etc. So that kind of keeps me alive in that way. In a way, handstand is like an asana, and it forces you, in order to maintain balance, it forces you to be present throughout the whole time that you are doing it. Okay, your mind doesn't drift to other places. You are here and now and focus on the present and the skill you're doing. So it's very physical. You have, you're thinking about the feet, the shoulders, the pelvis, the entire body, and at the same time maintaining balance. So you have to be very present, and once this becomes easy, where you can actually do a handstand and think about other things, then you go to the next level. You do something more challenging. So you have to be entirely in the present moment, focusing. If handstand is something that you're interested in developing, I often recommend to start with an instructor. So it could be, I'm traveling around the world, so of course I'll be happy to see anyone in my workshops, but there are other hand balancing teachers also who have maybe different methods or different personalities or different way to teach. It's always beneficial to have a good instruction at the start, and then afterwards it really depends on the time that you put on your own to explore the handstand, to find the handstand. So I think it's accessible to anyone who's in good shape and they want to find, they want to explore the skill. There's no, I've taught people from a very young age to people in their 70s, 60s who want to do it, so it's definitely possible.
Thanks, Yuval, a lot for your time.
Yeah, pleasure.
This amazing workshop.
I'm glad you enjoyed, yeah.